What's up, Planeswalkers? It's your boy K-Dog, bringing you a Selesnya list for the Nylea's Festival of the Gods event. So in this one, the payoff is you draw a card whenever you play a spell with CMC 4 or greater. So the list I've come up with, and I've gotten some wins, or I've won all of my games, I should say, is this sweet little Selesnya list. Obviously you want the green ramp, and then there's some pretty nice payoffs in white. So just trying to generate as much value and ramp as possible. So we know our opponent's going to be playing bigger stuff, so we want the 4 giant killers. So if we want to play this on turn 1, and then we'll have 2 mana open available later on to tap down one of their big creatures. Or if we draw into it later, we can just hold it up as a 3 mana instant to destroy target creature with power 4 or greater, since we know people are going to be aiming for larger spells, larger creatures. A couple of pacifisms to kind of help us interact with those larger creatures. 3 Birth of Meletis, just a nice pseudo ramp spell as we get to search for planes. And then the following turn we get to create a 0/4 defender, and then we also gain a little bit of life on the 3rd chapter. And for our ramp package, we're running all 4 Incubation Druids and all 4 Paradise Druids. And for an extra bit of removal, we're going to run 2 Kenrith Transformation. It's a nice little card here. For 2 mana, we get to basically turn one of their creatures into a 3/3 that loses all other abilities. And also when we play this, we get to draw a card. So, worst case scenario, we can always play this on like a giant killer or incubation druid, something like that, if we just need another creature out. But more often than not, we're going to be casting it on our opponent's larger creatures and downsizing them into 3/3, so they can't really do much against us, especially if we have our 0/4 wall out and things like that. For additional removal, we're going to be running 4 Banishing Lights. I originally had 4 Conclave Tribunals because that is CMC 4 or greater, but in my last game that I just played with this, I actually convoked a Conclave Tribunal in, and I did not get the card draw. So I don't know if that's intentional on the arena team, or if that's just some kind of a glitch. So either way, we're just going to run the Banishing Lights here just to make sure we have the more efficient removal spell. We're already running 4 Archon of Sun's Grace. It's our first 4 CMC spell. 3/4 Flying Lifelink. And whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under our control, we get a 2/2 white Pegasus creature token with flying. And those Pegasus creature tokens have lifelink, thanks to the Archon of Sun's Grace. So just the 1 Conclave Tribunal. And also going to run in 2 Arasta, another 4 CMC spell. It's also an enchantment, so it'll trigger our Archon of Sun's Grace. It's also why we're running Pacifism and Kenrith's Transformation and Birth of Meletis, because those will all trigger our Archon of Sun's Grace, start getting 2/2 tokens. So we're just trying to abuse the card draw and value of this event as much as possible. To that effect, we're running 2 Beast Whispers. It's a 4 CMC 2/3. Whenever we cast a creature spell, draw a card. So if that creature is 4 or greater, then we're going to be drawing 2 cards. So that's pretty powerful stuff. And we know our opponent is going to be playing bigger spells, so we're going to run 2 Elspeth Conquers Death, another enchantment to trigger our Archon of Sun's Grace. When this comes down, we exile target permanent and opponent controls with CMC 3 or greater. And the following turn, non-creature spells our opponent cast cost 2 more. And then the 3rd saga is we get a creature or a planeswalker back. We don't have any planeswalkers in this build, but we do have plenty of creatures. So getting them back with us, Archon of Sun's Grace, or Beast Whisper, or Arasta, whatever the case may be. And it comes back even bigger and better than before. And to top out our curve, just a outstanding value engine here, God-Eternal Oketra. 5 mana, 3/6, double strike. And whenever we cast a creature spell, create a 4/4 black zombie warrior creature token with vigilance. And it's hard to get rid of because whenever it dies, or is even put in exile, we can choose to put it back into our library 3rd from the top. So just have to wait a couple turns and we'll get it right back. For the mana base here, we got 8 plains, since most of our spells are white, 7 forests, temple, garden, all 4 of course. Just a 2 temple plenty. We want to try to play on curve as much as possible. So we don't mind playing this on turn 1 because we don't have a ton of 1 drops, but starting on turn 2, we want to make sure that we're playing on curve the rest of the way. And for a little bit of fixing, we got also 3 Fabled Passage, since we do have so many double green, double white spells, just to make sure that we can play whatever we want, whenever we want. Alright, so let's jump into a couple of matches, and hopefully the deck performs as well as it just did for me. So the first deck I built when I saw this event, I read it as creatures with power 4 or greater. And so yeah, that deck didn't, not really tuned for this event as I was hoping it would be, but I actually won my first game because my opponent didn't seem to draw very well or have a very good deck maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I think we'll just lead with the Temple Garden. Maybe Fabled Passage was better. Let's see. Uh-oh, against red. Really? You're playing Cavalcade of Calamity in this event? You're just trying to punish people for playing big spells? That's cute. We see the enchantments. We will Banishing Light it. Otherwise, okay. Didn't find an untapped land, so I think we just get another Paradise Druid down and say go. And next turn maybe the Arasta, since that'll slow down their light up the stage, skewer, things like that. And we'll have a nice 3/5 blocker. So I'm fine with taking a couple hits, but obviously we'll need to slow them down at some point. Okay, see what they do on turn 3. Mono red. That sucks. I'm not sure. Okay. Why would you play that card in this event? I have no idea. We'll play the Beast Whisperer first, just to get our value engine going. And we'll see what they play. Obviously, you want to get this Archon down as soon as possible, but... Okay, I want to Scorching Dragonfire and not play anything else. That's fine. So now we get our Archon down. Keep drawing cards. We can follow it up with Arasta. Kenrith's Transformation if they drop like a Torbrand. And we always have this Banishing Light to deal with. I'm not really sure what our opponent is doing in mono red when the payoff is drawing cards. I guess that's all they play. Sure, kill my giant killer. No problem. So I got a 3/5 you gotta deal with. I still have plenty of cards in hand. They're not really... For a mono red player, they've been pretty slow to empty out their hand. They just want to scry? Okay, we'll just go in for some attacks. Drop them down to 8. We'll gain a couple life. 3 life to be exact. Now we got some nice removal in our hands. And as long as the Archon stays down, we'll be in good shape. Sure, Neb. It's interesting. Do we want a Banishing Light, or do we want a Kenrith's Transformation? I think I'm fine with saving the Banishing Light just in case they have something else. 3/3 doesn't really do a whole lot to slow me down. We can jump block something here, but it dies and we don't lose our creature. Down to 2, and we got a pretty powerful board state. Unless they have Storm's Wrath, but then we still have our Arasta and Incubation Druid, and they probably don't have anything else. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Good game, Mono Red. Thanks for trying. Cool name though, Edgar Markov 312. Alright, so Mono Red, I guess they were kind of built around the head maybe? Alright. Looked like it was just going to be a Cavalcade deck, but turned out to be more of a... Maybe they tweaked it just for this event to play around the head. Not a card you see very often. Alright, so we can go Temple, turn 1, Forest, turn 2, play Birth of Meletis, grab a Plains, turn 3, and then we'll have our Fabled Passage on turn 4 that we can crack for whatever we need. We're pretty well set for our distribution of colors since we'll have 2 of each. And we don't need any more beyond that. Up against the Simic, looks like. Double Archon, that's pretty good. I think we already have access to 4 lands here, so we'll pass on that. We just kind of want to get more action. This is a flash deck, I'll be very disappointed. Okay, next turn I guess we'll just go Birth again. Okay, Beanstalk Giant, so Simic ramp. So we do have good answers for the Giant, that's fine. Okay, we're doing outstanding mana-wise. Next turn we can Archon or Beast Whisper. Opponent with 5 cards in hand, holding up a bunch of lands. I'd rather counter the Beast Whisperer if that's what they're planning to do. Nope. Okay. And then we got the Archon of Sun's Grace. I think we'll Fabled Passage next turn and thin out as many lands as we can. Just keep drawing more answers. Okay. Let's crack that first, then our deck before we draw. Probably doesn't matter, we'll just grab a Plains, I guess. Start with the Archon. Draw a bunch of cards. And we'll... Whoa, 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 whoa. Conclave Tribunal. Tapping you, you, and you. Now we can attack with our Beast Whisperer for 2. Now we got Oketra next turn, and whew. Should be game on. These Incubation Druids aren't great, so if we end up drawing too many cards, and we're fine to start discarding there. 7/7, we got our 0/4 walls that can chump this for a couple turns, so I think we'll just Oketra and hang on to this, hang on to the Banishing Light. It would give us another flyer, but I don't think we're too worried about that. Let's see what we draw first. Swing in there. I think we need to save this Giant Killer, and we'll discard a Incubation Druid. So we can Giant Killer this Beanstalk Giant at any point. And we also have a Banishing Light for anything else that they might have. With Oketra and Archon of Sun's Grace, we're in pretty good shape, unless they have like a Mass Manipulation or something like that. Or Kiora Best of Sea God would probably suck, but we do have the Banishing Light to deal with that as well. They do have Mass Manipulation. Okay. No Trostani. We just want to get another Archon of Sun's Grace down. And then we'll get our Birth of Meletis. Grab another Plains. Don't have any 1-drops. We'll just play the Temple Garden tapped. Attack with our 2/2. So we're not in great shape, but we're not out of it. I'm not out of this game either. We're ahead on life total, so we do have some breathing room, but if they're running a million mass manipulations, that's going to suck for us. And they're the ones getting value off Archon of the Sun's Grace. Thrashing Brontodon. Yeah, the Archon isn't an enchantment. You can sack it to get rid of the Birth, that's fine. Looks like they're reading it. Sure. That mass manipulation might be the death of us. I'm not sure what they're holding up on. On Slesnia, we don't have haste. And there's Questing Beast, but they have the 4/4s. So 6 plus 9 is 15. Need to get rid of the Archon of Sun's Grace on their side, and maybe the Oketra. Now they have a counterspell. Okay. That mass manipulation is the death of us, so good game. They had our 2 most valuable creatures there, and they were able to capitalize on it immediately by playing creatures and enchantments. We had a little bit of removal to kind of give us a chance, but they had the negate at the right time. It's just how it goes. Up against Rafa Lopez. I think we'll just Fabled Passage first. Grab a plane since we have a forest. And we can Paradise Druid or Incubation Druid next turn. And then see where we're at from there. Looks like they're mono green. I think we can just drop our Incubation Druid. Okay, looks like another Simic. Kasmina's Transformation, we get a 1/1 and loses its ability, so it doesn't tap for mana. Can't adapt. But instead of a 0 power, we get a 1 powered creature. We can at least start attacking. And now the Paradise Druid has hexproof, so we'll definitely be able to play something here. Sharkdo Crab. Oh yeah. So I think we just need to get our Oketra down. Jump block with the Incubation Druid. Unless they adapt. How much is the adapt? 4. Yep. So they can adapt and not play anything. Okay. Kasmina's Transmutation on Oketra is pretty demoralizing. but we do still have some good cards in hand. So we can block, and then our Oketra will die, and we can just put it back in our library. Oh. That's right, it lost that ability. Okay, we'll Beast Whisperer first. I think we just pass here. Our opponent has all the answers. This Kasmina's Transmutation putting in work against us. Galloping Lizrog. Okay, no counters to move around. Attack for 4. Okay, we'll jump. We want to get our Archon down first. That's Kasmina's Kenrith's transformation. Lizrog. So we'll draw a card. They get a 3/3, which was already a 3/3, but now it can't do any counter shenanigans. Of course, they have another. They found all 3 Kasmina's transmutations. Okay, and I tap one of my creatures down. Paradise Druid has hexproof, so it's either the 2/2 or the 1/1. Pretty easy chump when you're. Well, we'll get Oketra down again. Try it. Just play another Paradise Druid. Okay, we've gone through 3 of their Kasmina's transmutation, so hopefully we're okay. They do get to draw a card and put another counter, tap something down. Probably Oketra. We do have a couple Banishing Lights and a Giant Killer in hand, so I think we're doing okay. Yep, Oketra. So Oketra will not untap. We're getting a ton of value out of this Simic deck. Nice to see these cards getting some play. I think that's kind of the whole purpose of these special events. Just kind of play around with cards you don't normally play around with instead of just jamming whatever standard deck you're already playing. And they tap out for a Growth Spiral and get a land. Alright, so take 10, go down to 5. I mean, we can kill these next turn. I don't think we need Paradise Druid at this point. I think we're okay. We need to preserve our life total a little bit. Hey, what's this? Giant Killer on the Sharkdo Crab. I don't think we need that. Let's get our Arasta down. Get some life back. And start pinging their life total. And now they're in top deck mode. So we're in pretty decent shape. 2 Banishing Lights. So any more Sharkdo Crabs, things like that. We got the answers. Okay, they're holding something in hand. It's Fabled Passage, thin the deck. Got a Force in hand, so I guess we'll grab up Plains. And we have this giant killer that can tap down their stuff. Let's start with that. Trigger Oketra. We have something in hand. Okay, no response. Well, let's I think we'll hold the Arasta back just to be on the safe side, and I'm fine with attacking Oketra, the zombies with Vigilance, and the 2/2 flyer. So we'll gain a little bit of life still, and we'll see what they do. They go down to 1. Let's trigger Oketra one more time. And I think we'll just save these Banishing Lights for next turn. So, the mass manipulation would be pretty devastating, but sweet. Alright, so obviously once the deck gets going, got a ton of value that's really works so well in this event. Obviously it worked well for our opponent when they mass manipulated our creatures and immediately started getting value off of them. So yeah, it's a pretty sweet deck. I've won all but matches except that one you just saw against the mass manipulation, and those cards kind of won it for them. So you could say my deck even won that match as well. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy the event. Get your sweet artwork. And I love these constellation cards: Nylea, Renata, and Citizen Petitioner. So yeah, thanks for watching, and look to see you guys in the next one.